hello everyone. So I guess Happy New Year 2022. So I didn't prepare anything in what I'm going to say, and on top of that I have a COVID voice. But yeah, I was thinking that I learned so much through interviewing, all these people in 2021, but from the start of Lifeline. And yeah, I was like, okay, let's try to do some reflection of all the lessons learned from interviewing 35, 36 people so far. And I thought about so many things that I could do, but I think one thing I really want to share about is the concept of trust. It's something that came back many times when speaking with guests. You might have noticed, but one key thing for me to unfold and really discover is how do my guests, transform themselves from a state where they are a person, they might care or not about some social environmental issues, to they care, they take action, individual action, they take more individual actions and they take collective actions, and they, just start to build communities, inspire their communities, do things that are much bigger than ourselves. So for me, I'm really interested in understanding, okay, how did they get empowered? How did they reconnect with their power of action? How do they manage to do that with so many people? So for me, that's the key thing. And maybe one topic that, thanks to Linka in episode 25, I managed to put words on it. Trust. Like with Linka, episode 25, it's called like the power of genuinely trusting people. And we spoke about trust, the power of when someone trusts you to do something, and even yourself, you didn't trust yourself that you could do it. And this has the power of, making yourself, more confident, making yourself accountable for the person who trusts you. It gives you motivation that, okay, someone thinks I can do it, I will try my best. And you end up doing it, because many times people don't trust you for nothing. They genuinely trust you that you can do it, right? So, and since Linka said that, it's something I really pay attention in each of the episodes, but everyone actually, they share stories of how for a particular project or action they didn't trust themselves, and then someone came in, really believed in them, and it, like, so much change happened. They connected to their inner power of action. So I wanted to share a bit about trust, not just by myself, but I came back to a few episodes where people share their trust stories, where people share how, the transformational power of people trusting you. And maybe just, so that we are all on the same page, I will just start by putting a recording from Anne-Laure, episode 5, where she explains really, very well what does it mean, empowerment. And for me, until I discussed with Anne-Laure, I couldn't really explain and put words on empowerment, but I think Anne-Laure really does it super well. So we'll listen to Anne-Laure and I'll be just right back.
For me, the common roots is everything that has to do with empowerment. So how do you reconnect anyone with his or her own power of action? So for young people, it can be, okay, I actually have the power to decide of my own life. For citizens, it can be, okay, as a group, we have the power to make something change. Or as any group, organization, team, and so on, it's okay together. We actually have the power of moving our organization forward or doing things differently or changing the way we are doing things. So for me, what is at the root of everything is really empowerment, individual and collective.
Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed it. Listen to her episode if you want to know more about what she does to empower citizens. But really, I really like the concept of reconnect with your own power of action. As if, we have the power, we have the agency, but we lose it somehow. And empowerment is how can you reconnect with it so that you can decide of your own life. You can take action for your own life. And we'll see later, of course, not everything depends on yourself. But already this mindset has a lot of potential. And when it comes with people around you who trust you, support you, then it has, this is where like real empowerment happens. And yeah, before continuing, I have a lot of, small recordings that I want to share through this special edition. But yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone for, listening to all the episodes, to all of those who send me regular feedback. This really is what motivates me the most, keeps me going. So yeah, please continue. If you have any trust stories, share with me. I would love to know more. And yeah, I think, again, for 2022, I'm not too sure how Lifeline will evolve, but yeah, I will try my best, to grow the listening base. So yeah, please keep listening. Please keep giving me feedback. If you have any crazy ideas to, improve Lifeline in any way, please let me know. And yeah, as always, share any episode that you like with your friends. It's really, really helpful. And in the end, it's why I do Lifeline, is to amplify the voices and the stories of all the change makers that I'm inviting. So yeah, just so that their message can be heard, please share the episodes with your friends. Subscribe, of course, so you always get the latest episodes. And yeah, so back to the topic. Wanted to make you listen to the recording of Linka. So episode 25, I mentioned it 5 times already in like 10 minutes. So yeah, let's listen to it and we'll continue after.
Every time that we're given trust that we can do something before we actually do it, it's actually very, very scary, right? If I bring myself back to the first time I was on stage, facilitating a startup weekend, I was so nervous. And then I don't know, if I will do well. I don't know what are people's expectations, things that in their heads that I can't control. And I also cannot control my feeling. And then also I remember in the early days when I just joined UNDP and everyone was like commenting, oh, she's from this world of startup. She's having this and that experience, so she can do this and that very, very well. So all these expectations is very, very heavy and it's very, very scary, right? And I think before we finish it, we will always carry this fear. We will always feel like we're not ready enough. We're always fear that we didn't consider everything well or didn't prepare enough. But then things would change the moment everything finished. It was like, oh, it's actually not that scary. It's not as complicated as I thought. I can actually do it. And I think all this transformative experience in our head, that's where we know that it's not really that scary and we can actually do it. So I think a lot of movers actually share this with us that, after the first workshop, they realize that, oh, they can actually do it. They can speak in front of a lot of people. It's actually not that scary. And all this fear in our heads automatically go away.
So yeah, I really, really love how she deconstructs her fear. So we've been mentioning, that trust has this potential to motivate you to make you accountable, to push you forward a little bit. But of course, it's very, very scary, because if you are still in this phase where you don't trust yourself, it's so difficult to encourage yourself, and it's things that you always think that you cannot do. And yeah, for me, this particular moment is when I realized we should trust each other. We should spread trust among each other, because it's really, I think, a thing that we don't speak a lot about, but it's really something that unlocks so many things. When Linka says that everyone just thinks that she will make it happen from her background, and she mentioned that she has imposter syndrome, but since everyone is trusting her, expecting her to make it happen, she sort of have no choice than to make it happen, right? And I think for me that's one aspect that I really like about the trust, is the accountability aspect that comes from it. Is okay, people expect me that I will make it happen. People really trust me that I will make the best out of it. So then you have this, I would say, positive pressure that okay, now I have to make it happen. And even if you are not ready, you will make yourself ready. You might do more research, you might do more preparation, but since there are people out there who trust you, you don't want to deceive them, and you just want to live up to their expectations. And I really love what Linka says, like, once it happens and you just realize that, okay, it was so easy. And there were no reasons why I doubted myself, why I didn't trust myself. So, I think it's a very common feeling. We stress so much before something, we want to give up, then someone tells us, no, just do it, you will do it. We do it, and we're like, why were we scared? So I think that's so important. Another piece of recording that I wanted to share is with Michael, episode 34, 35. But Michael was such an inspiration to listen to. It was so interesting, his view on trust, and how he got empowered because his English teacher trusted him while no one else trusted him, and not even himself. So have a listen to Michael's testimony, and we'll be right back. You mentioned your English teacher was your role model. Why is that? And what did the English teacher do that you wanted to emulate?
Well, the main thing that she did was she saw good in me. I was a troublemaker at school. I was always getting into fights or working out how to subvert the system. And a lot of it was because I was unhappy at home. And as a kid, you bring that to school. And I didn't really feel that I fit in. I'd grown up in Sydney, and here I was, and it was a tiny, tiny school. There were 13 of us in grade 10 when I reached grade 10. That's how small the school was. And it only went to grade 10. Then I had to move to another school. So I was always in trouble, and a lot of my teachers thought I was just bad news. I don't think my family thought that I would amount to very much. And yet here was this one person who really believed in me and showed me that she believed in me. She let me try things. I started a school newspaper, and I was the managing editor of this little school newspaper that the teacher herself typed up at night and formatted and everything, because this is before you had Word and all of these programs. I think she did it on a typewriter. And that really inspired me, that was all it took, one person believing in me, showing me that they trusted me, that they knew I was capable, seeing beyond, the exterior that I put up. And that led me to say, well, I want to be like that. And, we do that in life. When someone inspires us, we say to ourselves, I want to be like that person. And so I ended up heading off to university to become an English teacher, English and ESL, so English as a second language.
Wow, it's great how these two things, like being inspired by your English teacher, and I really love it, the trust. I think it's such an important thing maybe in a space where no one trusts you and maybe not even yourself. There is someone who's like, no, this guy, he can do so many things. And then it can just empower so much someone. And really love how, I don't know, it's like you combine English teaching and then what you've been doing, teaching English with a Vietnamese student to make it your new dream to follow.
Yeah. And, jumping ahead to today, just before I got on this interview, I was chatting with, I was having lunch actually with some of my team from Blue Dragon. And there's one boy, we were talking about one of the street kids, and he's a lovely, lovely kid. And we were actually talking about how lovely he is. And then one of the other staff who was there, who knew him when he first came to Blue Dragon, sort of had a bit of a laugh and pointed out that he wasn't like that when we first met him. Now, we've only known him for about 6 months. So I asked a bit more, and this is such a common thing. Very often when we meet kids for the first time, they've always been the trouble kids, and everyone believes that they're bad. Their parents tell them, "Oh, you're no good." Their teachers might pick on them and tell them, "Oh, you're stupid." And then they end up on the street, and maybe they're getting in trouble here. Then we meet them, and sometimes in weeks, otherwise months, you see this turnaround in kids where for the first time they have people who believe in them, and it's just incredible. Sometimes then when we meet with their parents, the parents will be saying, "Oh, he's always dishonest. He's always running away. He's always stealing." And we'll be saying, "No, we've had this kid in our care for months. He's never done any of that even one time." And it makes me conclude, drawing on my experience as a child and what I see in Blue Dragon, that you get out of people what you expect. If you meet someone and your expectation is this person's going to rip me off, this person's going to deceive me, then they probably will, or at least you'll believe that they will. And if you believe this is a good person and they're going to do their best for me, then there's a very good chance that they will.
So I hope you enjoyed, and really, really love just the fact that, he got trusted while he was younger. Now he's the one with Blue Dragon trusting the other kids that he meets in the streets, that, they have this potential, that they have this power of action that they might have lost for some reason. And they are here to give back this agency for young people. And I think it's really, really cool. Like maybe just if you haven't listened to Michael's episode yet, but he was a bit nervous when I invited him to be on Lifeline. Blue Dragon is so big, Lifeline is so small. And the first thing that Michael says in the episode is when I started Blue Dragon, I was reaching out to different NGOs. No one trusted me. No one trusted that I was going to do something or continue. And then he told me, and I don't want to be the same. I want to trust people who come with cool, new, innovative projects. I want to be a supporter rather than someone who's not trusting. I want to trust. And it really struck me how, he carries this trust forward over the years. And I think it's really, really cool. The person who trusted him was the only person among, what he said, among everyone and his own family. That one person who saw the potential, who genuinely trusted, who saw his strengths rather than his weaknesses, who saw his strengths rather than his flaws. And it's what, changed everything. It's what made him reconnect with his power of action, and in the end, she became his role model, who he wanted to emulate, and it was really, this life-changing moment for him. And then there is a ripple effect. That now with Blue Dragons, they are trusting street kids, and I really love this example where sometimes you don't need that much. I just need one person at the right time to show you another angle, to show you that, there's still people out there who trust you, your potential, and you can make it happen, even though, everyone else think you are trash or have no potential. We'll speak again a bit later, but it really comes down to seeing the potential, seeing the strengths from everyone, and really believing that everyone has its own potential and power of action, and really trusting that they will make the best out of it. And again, another example that I want to share is with Ashley, or Ichiang, from episode 20. Really love it. She was sent to Sierra Leone, a country she doesn't know, to coordinate a team of volunteers who were all older than her and more experienced. And you will see the power of trust.
We have like a team of 30 volunteers, and I'm actually the youngest, but I need to coordinate everyone. And my boss actually gave me a lot of space. And even if I'm the youngest and like I did not really have any experience in like underground work with like post-disaster relief, but they believe me a lot. So that's how, you feel that you have the ability to do something, and it's not restricted by your age, by your experience. So actually all the time I'm like so stressful and I wanted to cry. But then, like my supervisor is like providing me companion and, guidance. She's like, you can do it, and just do it because you can do it. Just like some words of encouragement. So I'm able to like tell myself that, I can do it. It's okay. I can do it. I feel stressful at first, but like as days go by, everything went pretty well. I think it went pretty well.
And I love how it reflects on Linka's ideas as well, that you really, because in the case of Michael, it's potential that he never thought about. He didn't really know what he would do in his future. He was super young. But in terms of Ashley, there was a specific goal, specific objective, right? Specific project that she thought she couldn't do. And as Linka, she was scared, she was crying, but in the end, it went perfectly well. I feel like I'm repeating myself 100 times, but I hope you can, think about it. And it just makes me think. I was listening to an interview. I don't know, like who, when, why, but it was about, I think, like a wise old man who was sharing that he never says to people that their idea sucks when people pitch ideas to him. Because, first thing is, we always say the idea is just 1%, execution is 99%. But he went beyond that, and to say, when people come with new ideas and they are passionate about it, there is no point trashing them. There is no point telling them that the idea sucks, because it's already so difficult to find something that you are passionate about in this life. There's so many people who are on this quest of finding their purpose or their passion through their whole lifetime, and they don't find it. So when you find this something, who are you to destroy it? Who are you to say to someone that their purpose, their dream doesn't work or sucks? And second thing, I forgot, but this, I guess, that was the main point. That, if people are passionate about something, let them live their dream, let them follow their purpose, and in the end, trust them. And then that might unlock so many things, as with Linka, Ashley, Michael. Okay, I wanted to say something, I forgot. Maybe it will come back anyway. But and I think for me, this concept of empowerment through trust is very, again, like, when we read personal development books, and I read a lot, many times we might fall into this thing where we might think that everything that happens to us is 100% dependent on what we do. Well, I think it's not so true. There's so many factors, like where you are born, your like social, economic, cultural capital, how much money you have, etc., etc. That influences what kind of opportunities you are exposed to, what kind of studies you can do, what career you are exposed to and want to emulate. And I think, with this concept of trust, for me, it really showed that even though, many of these people have high agency, they take, they take action for themselves, but it didn't like miraculously, I don't know if it's a word, but it didn't appear like by magic, right? It's always the combination of their own agency, their own action, combined with the fact that other people were around to support them, to trust them. And for me, it paints a better reality of empowerment, that it's not 100% from your own actions, it's not 100% from outside factors, but it's a mix. It's a dance, between your personal actions, how you are going to look for opportunities, how you are going to, try to have an entrepreneurial mindset, with the fact that people are there supporting you, and that it's a necessity that, we support those who are less exposed to opportunities. But I hope it makes sense. But it's a mix of both, and it's something I really realized when I interviewed Kelly. Episode, I don't remember. But Kelly Vore from the Lean Center in Vietnam. And I think I really loved her story. Basically, she was saying that, she was born in this small alley in Ho Chi Minh City, where she was not exposed to any role models, to any different any decent career opportunities. They struggled to go to school, and what changed is that one day she met a mentor, which basically changed her life. And she met him because she was just going to every event she could go to, and she just happened to meet him at one of these events because she was interested in climate, poverty, Mekong Delta, just trying to follow these keywords, and then she ended up meeting him. But have a listen to her testimony.
This is something really resonate with me, because that happened to my life. Opportunity. I really strongly believe in opportunity, because, I believe everybody have their own potential. When I was a kid, when I was a young little girl in my alley, I had potential, but that's not enough, because even though you had potential, but if the environment around you were not supportive, and there's not many people give you the opportunity to change your life, it didn't really help you to change your life. That's why I think even though we have potential, we still need other people at one point of our life to give it to us the opportunity for us to change our life and shine. So I had that because my mentor gave it to me. A lot of people gave it to me. The NGO gave it to me for me to volunteer with them. I want to give that opportunity to other people too when I can. it's about resources, right? You want to do good, but you need resources. So that's kind of thing that keep me really motivated. If you come from an environment where you really need the opportunity, you will see how much it is important for you to have the opportunity. That's why I feel it very resonated with me and close to my heart. So that's why everything I do, I will try to create opportunity for people or help them to get to the opportunity that they need. So my role at Lane is quite good because I'm doing that kind of connecting, like a hub and connecting different people. And also with the community podcast, it's the same, like I'm trying to bring this story out so people can listen to and they feel motivated, they feel inspired, they feel connected. And in the future, I want to also build the community so where people can also helping each other and connect with each other, because I believe that we have to work together. We have to support each other, collaborate to actually achieve something amazing.
And also, from this episode with Kelly, it really, it's something I've been thinking about for a long, long time, but it showed me the importance of role models. I always share this story to everyone that I'm so impressed by the youth in Bangladesh, at least the ones that I meet through Movers program and stuff. And if there is anyone listening, congrats. I don't know, I felt there is something different with the youth in Bangladesh compared to the youth I've met everywhere in the world, where, I don't know, for some reason I find them, much more active, social impact oriented. And I don't know, but at least I met so many who are in their 20s, still at uni, but they have their social enterprise, their non-profit. And for me, I found it it's not something common in France, for example, or in other countries where, I don't know, if you are at uni, you're just focused on having good grades. And yeah, for me, I try to understand. For me, one of the reasons, and it's something I would love to speak more about, but it's because everyone knows Muhammad Yunus. He's been around for 40 years. He's Peace Nobel Prize. He's rich. He's very exposed. He's very inspiring. He changed the life of so many people. And I say rich because it shows that you can have social impact and make it viable, right? And for me, he's been around for 2, 3 generations, and it just shows, he's a role model for all the youth in Bangladesh, for their parents as well. If you are a youth and you say, I want to have a social enterprise, your parents might just say, oh, okay, yeah, I know what a social enterprise is. Muhammad Yunus did that. He might become as successful and impactful as Muhammad Yunus. Yeah, go for it, While in many different countries where you say, yeah, I want to have social impact in my career, it might be frowned upon by your friends, by your family, by the society, by the university where you are studying in, because then for me it all comes down to role models in the society. I'm sure, I don't know, I want to try when I go to Bangladesh, I go to the street, I'm like, hey, do you know Muhammad Yunus? And I'm sure the answer is more than 90%. Okay, it's a random number, but I will ask people. But I feel like he's known by everyone, and it's really, when Kelly speaks about growing up without role models, and again, role models can be, like famous people like Muhammad, it can be your parents, it can be your siblings, a friend, it can be anyone. But for me, it's so important to have role models that you can identify with. Then you want to be like them, like Michael with his English teacher. And for me, that's also a reason why Lifeline exists, is to just help people find their role models by listening to all the stories. So many feedback I receive is, oh my god, I want to be like blah blah blah, or she's so inspiring, I learned so much from her. And I think it's so important that you identify people that you want to be like. It has nothing to do with trust, but I think it's really, really empowering as well to find someone that, identify someone that, okay, I want to be like them. And yeah, it's if you it's how to, like in the like another piece of recording I want to share. It's with Valentine, episode 2. And what I really like, it's about her story. It's, you know, she never thought that she could become herself an entrepreneur, even less a social entrepreneur, because for her the word entrepreneurship was so far away from her. She could not relate, because the only entrepreneur that that people know was Steve Jobs. And yeah, she doesn't relate to Steve Jobs, so but if you find role models who come from your hometown, who went to the same school as you, who come from your same country as you, who want to have the same vision of the world, and it's so empowering. And yeah, just listen to the recording of Valentine.
And I really discovered a new universe for me. I didn't know this ecosystem, these people. And I was very glad to meet people who believed in what they do every day. They just believe in themselves and in their actions. They are not cynical about their work. I was really, stunned by that. And I also see that people were normal, like social entrepreneurs were normal people. And that is great, because in my head, there was Steve Jobs and only Steve Jobs. So in my mind, it was impossible to be an entrepreneur if you don't have a lot of technical background, if you're not known or something. So that was great to meet some real people and people who were really authentic. So I think this was I don't know.
Like the aha moment.
Exactly. Yeah. Ça fait tilt, as we said in French.
So yeah, this so sorry. This piece of recording is very important for me, because also shows that sometimes you don't need much to have this aha moment, to really turn around your brain and beliefs. It can be trust, it can just be meeting people and realize that, they do that. And not even at the role model level, but just people, normal people like you, who are doing what you always thought was impossible. And then it just clicks, like, oh my god, if this person can do this, I can do it as well. And yeah, for me that's so important. And that's also the role of role models, to show the way, to be pioneers and show to the world that this is possible. And yeah, it's one objective of Lifeline, to really show that all these change makers I interview, they are pioneers, and they show that it's possible to do this and that. And yeah, coming back to trust, which was the main purpose, really shows that these role models were built. I mean, not wrong words, but they managed to reconnect with their own power of action through trust. They are like everyone, they're not like superhero who were born with amazing leadership skills. They're just people who have their own doubts, challenge like everyone else. And yeah, they cross paths with nice people who trusted them, who themselves were trusted before. And I think that's something good to realize. But of course, like I say that as if it was so easy. You have challenge, you don't know what to do. Okay, find a role model, find trust. But yeah, of course, it's so challenging. And anyway, if you have listened to 1, 2, 3 episodes, you know that, I mean, they struggle for so long. But yeah, coming back to this dance between your own agency and the trust of your environment, sometimes it's difficult. And recently I interviewed Carla from Philippines, episode 30. Oh, I'm becoming old. 33, I guess. Anyway, but yeah, for me, she was the epitome of entrepreneurial mindset. Really making things happen with the resource she has at hand. And I think that's the best combination with receiving trust is entrepreneurial mindset. And yeah, like Carla, she was sharing all these stories, how she, that she loves to live outside of the box. So she didn't want to get a university degree. She lived she moved out of her house as a young teenager, which is not common in the Philippines, especially like 20 years ago. And yeah, she just worked her way up without uni degree. She made it happen. People ended up trusting her, but it took her a long time to build this trust. And it took a lot of entrepreneurial skills to build this trust as well and to make it happen. So yeah, have a listen to Carla's story.
After I applied to be like a trainer there, they said like, you did well with the interview, unfortunately, because you don't have a degree. And it just kind of like got into my head. I was like, oh my gosh, this degree, like I am not going to let this stop me. And so I had nothing to lose. So I just told them that, okay, let's do it this way. It was a risk for me to do it, but I just had to do it because I wanted to show them that I can do it even without a degree. So I told the person who was interviewing me that there's a 6 months probationary program, right? So hire me, give me the salary of an agent, but give me the work of the trainer. And the salary difference is huge. But I just wanted to prove a point that I can do this. And then I said that after 6 months, if I do not pass the trainer's evaluation, it's still okay for you because you can still hire me and continue with my salary as an agent. But if I pass the evaluation period, then you just need to adjust and, switch my role to become a trainer. I said, it's a win-win situation for you. That was a risk for me to say, but if I'm going to make this strategic move to enter this space, it was a global company. That's why I wanted to gain that, experience from them because I knew I was going to learn a lot. And then they hired me. And thank God, after 6 months, I passed the evaluation. And I'm grateful for them giving me that opportunity to just jump in and for them for, taking a chance on me. Yeah. And that's how everything just sort of like rolled into in opening different opportunities also.
So yeah, you still think about this story many times, how, she put herself at risk, but with high risk comes high rewards, right? So yeah, for me, it really shows that it's, I mean, of course it's not easy, but I feel like, when the door is closed, go through the door lock, there is always a way. And I discovered the dragonfly story recently, basically saying, like a dragonfly, when faced with an obstacle, it will try to go, on the right, on the left, up, down, but will never turn around. Sorry, that's my that's my COVID cough. So dragonfly will never turn around. It will always go straight. Will find a way to go straight. And I think that this is the life of Carla. And this is really something we can learn from her. That how to develop our own agency. And yeah, I mean, I just said that trust is something difficult to build. How all of this raises the question: how do you build trust with people? And how do you build trust without putting yourself too much at risk either? Not everyone can afford to do that. And I don't know. Well, I mean, I know a little bit, but I think one sentence that really marked me was again from Anne-Laura's episode.
I think trust is something that takes time to build, and you need to meet people 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times to see each other every day, and you start to build kind of connection of proximity, of friendship, and very slowly, to really build trust. And yeah, if you have something to offer, even small, you voice it, and people start to invite you, or at least they started to invite me into their work.
It reminds me of a very famous quote. Ask for what you need and offer what you can. Which is your favorite quote?
Yeah,
I know.
My favorite quote. Yeah, but it's true. To really, to offer whatever you have to offer, but also to not to be afraid to say, hey, I have time, I have energy, I love your project. I think that you're someone that I appreciate to work with. So yeah, I would like to do this more. I think not to be afraid of actually saying this. And sometimes it doesn't end up with anything. And sometimes it's, once again, the right timing, the right person, the right project, and something can come out of it.
So yeah, I really love her philosophy. Trust doesn't happen overnight. It takes some time. You need to be patient. You cannot go all in. It's like dating, I guess. Takes time. It takes multiple meetings. It takes time to see if you are aligned with the other person. And what I love is, just offer something to help people. Then they might invite you into their work, and that's how you start building trust. And I think it comes down to the intention of people, your own intention, where you want to do things, and it's something that people really can feel. And if you have good intention, then people will trust you. So many times I receive random LinkedIn messages of people who just want to take everything they can from me. They just see my UNDP title, and then they just try to extract everything they can. But of course, I can see that from 10 kilometers away. So I just don't answer. But while on the other hand, there are people who might not have the same, experience, status, or whatever, but they come with beautiful and very good intention. And these are the people that I personally want to work with, collaborate with, support, and trust. And yeah, I think one way as well to force yourself to have good intentions, or force yourself to build trust. I think it comes down to, if we see through the networking lens, I think many times people ask me, what is your recipe for networking? You have so many connections, etc. I think for me, networking is the same as making friends. It's no different. So for me, my first objective is to make friends with people. I usually don't, I don't, like for me, the network is, like if I want to work with people, for me, one criteria to work with people is, okay, whether I can be friends with them, whether, we could just go for a beer one-on-one and have a good chat. And I think Amit, episode 26, it's something he loves doing.
Make connection when you don't need the most. In that way, you meet people without any expectation and all. Make connections when you don't need the most. From 7 years, I just made connections. My mom, my brother, my family were Amit, they are stupid. Why do you go and meet someone at 3 a.m. in the morning at a railway station? On weekends, you're not at home. You're just meeting people. You're just like meeting. What are you meeting for? I just met them. I wanted to meet them. Wanted to learn.
So make connections when you don't need the most. I think it's a great advice that forces you not to be in a taker mode, in a taker mindset. And then you just focus on developing a relationship, developing a friendship without expectations. And you just get to know, what drives you in life, what is your vision of the world. And that's how you can just, really work with someone and collaborate with someone and build this trust that you have good intentions, that you have the best for the other one in mind. And ultimately, I think, it's about how you see people. Like, do you want to be friends with everyone, or do you realize that? Because like one quote from Adam Grant that I really like. So he's a guy who wrote Giver and Taker, and he said, okay, I have one question to spot the takers during a job interview, and he said, ask them, who do you think are 3 people that you help the most in their career? And if the candidate only answers people who were their boss, manager, then this person is a taker. Because he only helps and supports people who are higher than him or her in the hierarchy. While givers will be the ones who say 3 people who are at equal level or lower level, because they want to help them grow. And I think for me that's really interesting. To really see everyone on equal level, and comes back to what Amit said about, just developing relationship without expectations. And one thing that marked me as well was my interview with Shunsoke, episode 24, so photographer and footballer. And he was telling me about his values and about why he takes photos.
So most of the artists or photographers are having such kind of philosophy. Basically saying, I want to find the values in our everyday life. Mainly the people who are not in mainstream. The kids selling the food for pigeons on the riverside. Most of the people don't like them. And they are annoying. They are just begging for food for pigeons. It's fine. They have to live, and very common. Have you ever talked with them? I want to ask most of the people living here. I think most of the people don't talk with them, even don't talk to them. Actually, I'm really interested in those kids and hanging out with them and taking photos and print out and pass it them. And they remember me also. Take is coming, hey, taking photo of me. Now we are some kind of a friends, but not so many people interested in those kinds of interaction with the, poor background people. I don't care, those kind of poor or rich or CEO or homeless people. I'm talking equally to the people. I want to be equal to everybody, and I want to act or treat everybody equally. So, yeah, I want to stand by the people more than rich and strong and the people in power. They don't need that. I want to stand by those kinds of vulnerable people.
So I think, yeah, that's a great example. But yeah, just to come back, like Anne-Laure was speaking about contributing what you can. And yeah, I think another thing that I always share throughout the episode, but anyway, the best way to build trust is by helping people and showing your worth and showing how you can help everyone achieve their dreams. Then they will see how you work, they will see what values you have, they will see what drives you in life. And Yama says it so well, Yama from episode 3.
People ask me what's the best practice for networking. I think it's to be very open-minded and very much willing to give rather than take, right? So great networkers are people who are willing to give and share and pay forward. Like, okay, I'm always interested in what drives people, what are they looking for, what's their problem, how can I solve their problem? And in this way, I think you can get ahead, pay forward, help people. And that's, I think, the trick. You need to solve people's problems and be humble.
So, yeah. Identify what people are passionate about, what problem people face, and just be in a how can I help mindset. How can you solve that problem? And it's this way, for me, that's how you actually build trust with people, is when you have their best interest in mind. When you genuinely want to support them. And of course, you might think, oh, but I cannot help everyone around me. I cannot, I don't have time or like whatever. So to this, I have, and it will be the last piece of recording for this special edition. I think it's been a long time already. But yeah, from David. So the first interview, which was recorded on video, so have a look at on YouTube if you haven't watched it yet. But yeah, David, what struck me with David is he's always helping out people, like producing pro bono videos for like so many people, and it just, making a video demands so much time. So I was asking him, like, how do you make videos for everyone? How do you choose, what is your philosophy? So, yeah, enjoy.
Some people say maybe I'm too kind. I'm too nice. Yeah, I think.
Yes, he is.
Some people told me that maybe it's a bit dangerous because I'm too nice and I can't say no, sometimes. And I don't know. I think it's a mix of when it comes with a very good intention, with a very good vibe. For example, with you, and I knew because you're a very good friend for me, and I knew you were struggling, making a video, and for me it was like I wanted to make it. I think just because it's a mix of because I love making films, a mix of because I wanted to help you, and a mix because of I wanted to discover again Vietnam, all the things like this, and I also here I was helping they were a group of kids. They have like a dancing crew, and they just asked me if I could help them making a video, and I said yes. I don't know why, because I think I saw myself in them, like I saw myself in you, struggling before, and I wanted to be, in a way, I wanted to be the person I dreamed to meet, someone who can help me, and also because this person I dreamed to meet, I also met when I was younger, when I was learning. I always had like a teacher, or I always had like someone who came and who gave me a big gift, so big. I was so embarrassed, how to say thank you. And they just told me, it doesn't matter. Just enjoy and just pursue your career, like Clint Eastwood and like a cowboy, they just say, yeah, never mind, just go, and I think they inspire me, and that's why I also want to be this cowboy, you know, this kind of pirate cowboy. I just come somewhere, I help because I like people, and then when it's done, I just go with my horse. Hey, goodbye, never mind. You know, I think I have this kind of spirit.
And I think it's a perfect testimony to close the loop, close this reflection. You know, with Michael, we mentioned about when you receive trust early on, and then you are the one giving trust later on. I think, like what David says, so many people trusted him, supported him when he was younger and an aspiring filmmaker. Now it is responsibility to help the next generation. He said he saw himself in me while I was struggling to make my video. And yeah, like, you know, how can we all develop this cowboy mindset? And, you know, pay it forward. In the end, it's what Yama said, what David is doing, what everyone who just shared today is doing, is to pay it forward. It's, you know, giving back everything that we have received from other people that allowed us to reconnect with our own power of action, and just to help the people around us, trust them to reconnect with their own power of action and do good things with it. So yeah, I think I will stop speaking. I hope it made sense. I'm not so sure. But yeah, I just wanted to, I don't know, I always thought about putting together, you know, different parts of many different episodes. And I thought doing this around the concept of trust will be a good start to try it out. Because it's such a recurring topic, a recurring experience, and a transformative experience shared by almost all the guests. Actually, it made me think I should ask this question, like, when was the first time that someone trusted you, you know? I started to ask when, who was the first, like, when did you realize that you could influence people? From Linka's idea, great question. So yeah. So maybe it's a question I will ask everyone to close. You know, when did you first receive trust? When did you first receive this empowering trust? What is your hashtag trust story? If you want to share with me, I would love to. Just send me a message. Or, you know, who are the people who trusted you in times where no one else did, or in times where you didn't even trust yourself? I think it's interesting questions to reflect on. And to, you know, have some thoughts for 2022 that, okay, now our role is as a, you know, social gardeners is to trust people with good intentions. So hope we can do more of that. Spread trust, share your trust story with me if you have, and see you for upcoming episodes. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Bye bye.